Yo, what's up? What's up? Welcome back to another one tonight. Yo, I just saw this across the other day. Saw the title. I seen uh well, I don't know if you seen the thumbnail of this video, but I seen the pre- uh the preacher who was talking about that he's going to the richest church of America. That dude looked evil, bro. Check it. Alright, let's check it out. We're about to find out who we're about to see, but dude, I'm telling you, this dude looked like
This
he
is
looked like
me
he got
at
the
Eagle
force with
Mountain
you.
International Church, a non-denominational church in Texas. But this isn't your typical Pastor Bob with his guitars, smoke machines, and small groups. This church has its own airport, college, and coffee bar. It's run by Kenneth Copeland,
Hey,
a
yep,
pastor
that's the
worth
man
over
right there.
750 million, who owns multiple private jets and mansions. It's no surprise he's caught a ton
He looked
of
like he
flack.
got the force
what's that
with
one
him,
Bible
bro.
verse? Oh yeah, love of money is the root of all evil. But that's just the tip of the iceberg.
And this
He's
man
also
love
done
his
some
money.
questionable stuff.
You said that you don't like to fly commercial because you don't want to get into a tube with a bunch of demons. Do you really believe that human beings are demons?
No, I do not. And don't you ever say I did. We wrestle not with flesh and blood, but principalities and powers. This will be communion.
So, as a Catholic, why am I here? Well, it's no secret my channel is dedicated to explaining and defending the Catholic faith, which usually involves critiquing Protestants. However, it's one thing to talk online. I actually wanted to go there, to talk to real people and experience it for myself. Maybe the media exaggerates. Maybe Copeland is misunderstood. Maybe the church is actually really chill. Spoiler alert, it's not. Welcome to Operation Prosperity. First impressions, myself, two of my buddies, also Catholic, and our atheist friend pull up to Eagle Mountain International Church located in rural Texas about 40 minutes from Dallas. As soon as we got there, we were instantly greeted by attendants who directed us to a section in the parking lot for first-timers. There was even a shuttle to take us to the main entrance. We walk in, boom, multiple greeters smiling, hand extended, welcoming us, asking us if it's our first time there. We dressed like how we normally go to church, but to be honest, in retrospect, for 20-somethings, we kind of stuck out. We even got these free goodie bags with a book he wrote and some
Is it like a Gucci pack?
so far, pretty positive experience, although it did seem a little intense. Maybe just me being Catholic. I'm not used to people coming on this strong or being this friendly going to Mass, so you gotta give it to them. The first
You probably haven't been to a Christian mass.
30 minutes, they played worship music, and although this genre isn't my cup of tea, I was standing up, singing, vibing. We even got Matt, Mr. Atheist over here, singing along too. At this point, I didn't know how to describe it, but something felt off. I felt like I was in a cult, and I whispered this to my buddy Evan, who used to be in a non-denominational church, but he reassured me, hey man, just relax, this is how services typically go. Okay, maybe I'm just too used to the incense, bells, and organs of the Mass. But before we go further, what is the prosperity gospel? It's a theological belief practiced by Kenneth Copeland and his
The hell
followers,
happened to the sound?
and while it doesn't have one single founder, its roots date back
that
to
me?
the 1800s, particularly this
What is the
guy,
sound?
Phineas Quimbley, a spiritualist who claimed to heal people through hypnosis. Quimbley believed that sickness was a mindset, and healing came from realizing the truth, sort of like manifesting. These ideas were integrated into early Pentecostal circles, especially through healing revivals in the 20th century. By the time televangelists like Oral Roberts
that me or
and
is
Kenneth
that
Hagin came around, they were preaching that faith, especially faith expressed through giving, could unlock blessings of health, wealth, and success. Today, the
Sound went
prosperity
off
gospel
from-
teaches that
sound
God
sounds
wants
a
you
little
to thrive
weird for me.
physically, spiritually, and financially. Emphasis on the financial. After all the flack they receive online, you would think they'd be a lot more subtle with it, but no. The first talk immediately turned into a giant sales pitch to, you guessed it, donate.
I receive multiple streams of income.
Multiple streams of income.
My storehouses are full
My storehouses are full.
and overflowing.
It almost seemed like if a non-denominational church and Ty Lopez had a baby. The next 90 minutes were the main sermon. Unfortunately, Copeland wasn't there, but we got the next best thing. A Dr. Jesse Duplantis, who also owns multiple private jets, mansions,
Ah,
And,
yo,
what-
you already know. You already know. This man.
the second coming is being delayed.
Yo, where's this
because
church
people
at?
aren't donating enough to his church. You can't make this up.
I honestly believe this.
that the reason why Jesus hadn't come is because people are not giving the way God told them to give.
You're right.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah, I see what
when
you're
you
saying.
understand, you can
You
speed
gotta
up
understand that if you wanna make money, well, you gotta be spending some money.
To be honest, I was jet lagged, so I dozed off a bit. But when I was awake, it was the same message over and over. Give more, believe more, give more, and God will bless you even more.
How many of you'd like to be totally debt-free, and the amount of money you're in debt, have it in liquid finance in some bank somewhere? Hold your hand up if that's you. Well, that's me. I don't mean that privately, it's just the way it is, glory to God. Because his word said it. Bunch of money, you know. But here's $100,000. I live in a mansion. I am not bragging on it. The Lord gave it to me. I'd give it away tomorrow. Do you want to? No, but I wouldn't.
He'll give it to me. He'll give away tomorrow to himself. That's what it is.
Grandfather, how much money you got? Kenneth Copeland's the one turned me on to planes.
Here's where it gets crazy. They use the Bible to justify their beliefs, but when you actually look up the Bible verses, they say something completely different. Even when you use their translation, the word rich isn't even mentioned here. I found this extremely misleading. Honestly, it's just an outright lie, and we were shocked. And look, we're trying to keep an open mind, but at this point in the service, my friends and I were pretty uncomfortable, and you would think it stops here, but no, it kept getting worse. Prosperity, we're already deep into heresy, and Duplantis strikes me as a pretty conservative guy, but then he went on about how women can preach using this example.
So all you preachers that say women can't preach, you mean to tell me the Virgin Mary could carry the word in her womb and not teach the word? Carry God himself manifested in flesh inside her womb, and she can't teach or preach the word? How ignorant are you? You mean she can be an apostle? She can be a prophet? Philip's daughters were prophetesses. She can be an evangelist. Mary Magdalene was an evangelist. She can be a teacher, but she can't be a pastor.
Do you think it's just a coincidence that Jesus happened to choose 12 men to be his apostles? I mean, think about it. If there's a 50% chance he chose a man versus a woman, that's...
I mean, I guess I see an argument for it. But I don't know. It's like, I feel like what's he doing is like, if you in the game, or you doing something for so long in any industry, you can say something real but manipulate how you say it, and only people in the game would really know whether it's true or not, because they have to pick out the very details of what you're saying. But to the mass, you will always sound correct, because you are giving about 70% of the truth, but the 30% that you manipulate, no one could really tell, because that's the information that no one really remember.
50% to the 12th power, or 1 out of 4,096 chance that it was a coincidence.
And trust me, man, if he could con all the people to give him that much money, he can figure it out how to bullshit 30% of the fucking story.
Even factoring Matthias, the apostle who replaced Judas, doubling these odds.
I didn't actually know this, but their church actually has multiple female pastors. And yes, to his point, there are multiple female prophets in the Bible, but women preaching is a completely alien practice to Christianity. The priesthood has always been male, in Judaism and Christianity, until some Protestant groups invented this in the 1800s. For a detailed explanation as to why, check out the link in the description, but to keep it short, God created men and women differently.
That is true. I mean, even in my time, I never see a woman priest. But then again, I don't know. Then, I mean, like, a lot of thing about this dude said about Mother Mary was very similar. It's not the same, but I feel like his mentality of how he feel about Mother Mary was very similar to Pope Francis. Because don't you think so? I don't know.
In value, but there are certain things a woman can't do that a man can, like become a priest. For the same reason, there are
And isn't that why it's like he clashed a lot with the conservative pope? Because he's a little bit more like progressive.
a man can't do that a woman can, like be a mother. We have intrinsically.
And that's why I said, like, sorry for keep pausing, but that's why I said, like, unless you're in the known for this and you do this as a practice, or like, pretty much like if you got paid to do this as a job, you wouldn't really know or care much.
Roles. After 2 hours of singing, worshiping, and hearing the sales pitch, it was time to donate. They played this feel-good interlude almost as an attempt to numb you as you dump your hard-earned money into their pockets.
Let's go. Bruh.
Before we
They
left,
throw
they had
out
a
a
room
band.
dedicated to new members. So we stopped by to chat with some of their pastors and meet the community. This one pastor told us that the Lord had blessed him in all these different areas of his life. For example, he was healed of leukemia, bought a new house, which is great, amen. But he implied that if someone is not healed, if they remain poor or sick, it might be because they don't have faith. So I asked him, let's say you have a cancer patient who prays but isn't healed. Is that because they don't have faith? And he couldn't give me a straight answer. He walked around the questions, but it seemed like a resounding yes. Someone with cancer who isn't healed is due to their lack of faith, which I found insane. His logic went something like this. King Solomon was the richest man in history, and he was blessed by the Lord. Likewise,
And ultimately, I think struggling to understand the word of God is the job of human. And I think he's sitting up there. If he was smoking a cigar, it'd be an ash would falling down your head. It'd be like that. Every time you think oh, I think I finally understand what he want. Just know that. And the next thing you know, ash will fall down your head. Because we
when
can
we are
never know
blessed
what
with the
God
Lord,
thinks.
we can get something similar.
And the moment
However,
you are
that's not
tempted-
how God works. For example, Jesus tells us, blessed are the poor in spirit. Sell what you have and give to the poor. And Paul tells us, if we suffer with him, we will also be glorified. So it's true, God blesses certain individuals with wealth. And there isn't anything inherently sinful with being wealthy. There are plenty of holy people in the Bible who had money. Abraham, King Solomon, Job, Martha, Joseph of Arimathea. And these people all found favor
It's a
with
cool
God.
painting, man.
Inherently sinful
paint
with being
this?
wealthy. There are plenty of holy people in the Bible who had money. Abraham, King Solomon,
Oh, look at the painting.
Job, Martha, Joseph of
It's crazy how all this painter paint all this later on. You never even see or know. They just like imagining it.
Arimathea. And these people all found favor with God. But other times, God blesses us with poverty. He tears down things to build something deeper. Look at the 12 apostles, Elijah, Elisha,
Hey, it's a good show. Recommend it. It's a really good show. I watch all. Is it all 4 seasons now? Waiting on the 5th.
John the Baptist, Jesus Christ, who was born in a barn and had nowhere to rest his head. So no, a lack of earthly success isn't a sign of a lack of faith. In fact, it could be a sign of heavenly success. You could even look at the great saints, Saint Teresa of Calcutta, who followed God's will so devoutly, yet lived off scraps. And look, if you are part of this church,
Yeah, it's really tough. It's really tough on that one. It's really tough. It's really tough. It's really tough. I read the story of Saint Little James. I think not saint. I think he's one of the disciples. I think he's more than a saint. He's a disciple. I think he had a problem with his leg. He's not crippled or anything, but he does have a problem with his leg. But he held the power to heal people, as Jesus sent 2 by 2 to different villages. And I think it was. I mean, there's more after that. There's more healing after that. But yeah, it's tough. Imagine you have the power to go heal people to walk if they're like lame or crippled, but you yourself can't. It's hard. It's a very hard one to understand.
my video, I didn't come here to mock or dunk on people. I came with an open mind, and I'm trying to be as respectful as possible, and I'm trying to understand. And I'm keeping it real with you guys. All of us, including Matt, we were baffled. It seemed like a cult, like everyone drank the Kool-Aid. Just donate, give what you can, and the Lord will bless you. Reducing your relationship with God to a financial transaction. Theology aside, just the vibe, talking to your pastors, they didn't seem very authentic, almost as if they had a hidden agenda, but maybe that's just me. And what we found wasn't just weird, it was spiritually dangerous. I'm worried about the people who go here. There were a ton of blue-collar workers, families with children, who genuinely seem like honest, God-fearing folks who are trying to follow Christ but are severely misled. Furthermore, I do think this church has done a lot of great work. For example, one of their pastors told us they saved over 10 million people, housed over 300 military families, and they have ministries across the world helping the poor, sick, and elderly. I have to respect that. That is amazing. However, at the end of the day, a church is flawed if the theology is incorrect. As 1 Timothy 3:15 says, the church is the pillar and foundation of truth. Faith is not about manipulating God. It's about surrender, trust, even when the blessings don't come in the form of money or health. If your theology falls apart when the money runs out, it's not from Jesus. Because the saints, not all of them were rich. They weren't all healthy, but they were holy. Now, if you want to learn more about what happened, check out my friend Evan's video, who made a detailed vlog covering our experience.
Alright. Yo, that was a cool video. Yup, that dude is definitely a cult leader. I'm not sure if he's following Christ or if he tried to relive Christ himself. I'm not so sure which one is he trying to do, but yeah, that definitely
Thanks to Dreamy for sponsoring this video.
Yeah, it definitely looked like a cult leader right there, y'all. So stay away from those meetings and don't give your money away for those things. Yo, until next time, dude, I'll see y'all. I'm out.